Hi, everyone. I'm Prosecutor Peter Lucido from Macomb County, and we're here with another edition. I'm here today with the Chief of the Child Protection Unit, Stephanie Stager. Welcome, Stephanie, and why don't you tell the viewers a little bit about yourself, as well as how long you've been a prosecutor, and what does the Child Protective Unit do?
Thank you, Pete. My name is Stephanie Stager. I have been a prosecutor for 21 years now. I started off in Wayne County. I was a prosecutor there for a little over 10 years, and I have been in Macomb now for almost 11 years.
You like Macomb a lot better, don't you?
Yes, I do. So I'm very happy here. Thank you. I have had a lot of experience, mostly felony experience. I was in several circuit courts down in Wayne County. I was in the homicide unit twice down there. I was also in the major drug unit down there as well, too. Since being here in Macomb, I was in district court for a couple of years. I was in circuit court for a couple of years, and I've had the privilege of being in the Child Protection Unit almost 7 years now. I've been the chief for about a year and a half.
Well, I know that, and I mean this with all sincerity, your unit has the toughest cases that are brought into the prosecutor's office because it deals with children and it deals with things that people don't want to see nor hear. And I understand that, how many are in your unit altogether?
Yes, there's 6 APAs in our unit, and then we are also assisted by our wonderful team of victim advocates who we could not do our job without all of them. They assist us with our victims almost daily in a lot of our cases.
The victim advocates, while you're preparing and doing what you need to do to prepare for a conviction in a case that's been charged, the advocates are assisting you by talking to the victims, and that could be loved ones, family members, relatives of the one that has been the victim in the case. It is a necessary because of the fact that you're focusing on the conviction and making sure that justice is served when the victim advocates are telling the victims about the process, what is next to come, answering their questions and concerns while you're preparing in the courtroom.
Absolutely, and I feel as if with our cases, the victim advocates work even harder. There is a lot more to prepare. The subject matter is very sensitive. It's very difficult to talk about. So we have children who are oftentimes very apprehensive about being in the courtroom arena. We will meet with our kids and our victims ahead of time with our victim advocates to get them used to the courtroom process. Being in court is always difficult, no matter what you are there for. But imagine being the age of 6, 7, a young teenager, having to talk about the subject matter that we deal with every day.
Give the viewers out there so they know what kind of cases. I know it's not easy, but give the viewers on what kind of cases the Child Protection Unit handles.
Yes, thank you. We cover 3 different subject matters. First, we deal with the child abuse cases. So anytime a child is physically harmed, whether it be by excessive discipline, whether it be by just physical assault, a beating, not necessarily a discipline situation, but we have an assaultive case, we deal with those all the way up to death cases. We deal with unsafe sleep cases, we deal with starvation cases, with abusive head trauma cases. We deal with everything involving hurting a child. We will review all of the warrants, whether they are a misdemeanor or a felony, and then my unit of 6 will vertically prosecute the felonies. So what that means is we start at the beginning where we review the warrant. We determine whether charges can be issued. If we do decide that charges are going to be issued, then we start that case in the district court. And we go through the district court process and then bring it up to the circuit court process until the end, whether it be through a trial or through a plea process through the end of sentencing. So we handle all of those felonies. The next category of cases that we cover are the CSC cases with minors that are victims. So we handle every aspect of all of our CSC cases for children that are 17 and under. So again, the warrant comes into us, we review it. If we decide to authorize charges, we again, through the district court process, through the circuit court process, all the way to the end of sentencing. We handle another another category that doesn't really fit the name of our unit, but we still do all those cases. And those are the CSC cases involving adult victims. So anybody 18 years or older who is a victim, we handle those as well too. We will review all of those warrants. My unit will handle all the felonies. So the misdemeanors are handled by other APAs. The felonies, we will again vertically prosecute starting from beginning to end. We also assist in another area in our office. If we have, for example, if there is a homicide with adults, but there are children who are witnesses, if the prosecutor who's assigned to that case wants assistance with the children and dealing with them in court, examining them in court to get their testimony, we will be more than happy to come in and assist that prosecutor, because all of us, the 6 of us prosecutors who are in that unit, have been specially trained to deal with examining children in the manner in which you are supposed to. We are all forensically trained. All 6 of us have gone through that process for the training. We are still continuing to do that training. We just had 4 go to another seminar. That is something that we always keep up on.
So you keep up to date. You also have some tools. One of the tools in the toolbox is if a child has been sexually assaulted, or if there's been maybe some abuse with the child, the care house. Explain what the care house does and how they help.
Absolutely. We could not do our jobs without care house. They are a very important part of this process. So, Pete, what happens is that a complaint is made to the police that there has either been sexual or physical abuse of a child. The police start investigating, and they automatically right away set up a care house interview. This is a entity that has people who are specially trained to forensically interview children. It is a home in Mount Clemens that they go to, or there is an office in Warren that they can go to as well, where they are talked to in the manner in which they are supposed to be talked to about these cases. It's important that these children are not interviewed and re-traumatized over and over and over again. So it's very important that these kids are talked to once, and that is it, so that we don't have them constantly reliving this trauma and having to tell everybody what happened to them. The interview is then given to the officer, and then it comes up with a warrant packet. So that is something that we are able to review. Oftentimes, as prosecutors are there off scene so that the children do not see us. We are in a different room able to observe the interview. If we are not able to be there, we also have the interview on a video, so we are able to observe it. We could not do our jobs without this very important interview.
So no one's there to really coach the individual who's being talked to, the child.
Correct.
They have licensed professionals that are there that work well as are trained professionals to work with the children, and they get to what happened in the most professional way, so that it'll help us know what it is we're looking for, and also what charges, if any, have to be brought.
Correct, and that's very important, is that there is the coaching situation. We don't have police officers, prosecutors are not involved with the children at this process, they don't even see us. So it is an entity that, like you said, they're very neutral. They are not on anybody's side. They are just there to gain the information from the child. Care House is also important. Then at the end, they give services. They give crisis counseling and trauma counseling to these kids as well, too.
I noticed that there's some medical sometimes involved with these cases. If they're death cases with babies, whether it was a safe sleep, like you said, or an unsafe sleep, where the mother rolled on top of the child and suffocated the child, which is always tragic. But also, when the police go in for the investigation and they find drugs, alcohol, they find unsafe living conditions within the home. Talk a little bit about that. So,
in terms of those situations where you have unsafe living conditions, we will look at those and see if it rises to the level of criminal charges.
Correct.
However, there is another entity in our office, which is through our juvenile division for abuse and neglect, and that is where they can come in, and CPS works directly with them on those cases to determine whether or not CPS needs to be involved with that family. It can go anywhere from, hey, this person needs some services, we need to give them some parenting classes, we may just need to give them some assistance with their living conditions, get them some money, some help.
There's no schools to become a parent out there. There's no training to take care of a child. But I see that sometimes what happens is police have a duty to report it to CPS so that they can get those services that are necessary for those families that need them. but also to look in and discover whether or not there's been other cases with the family.
Correct, absolutely.
And in addition, when your unit has these cases, and you as the chief, you have also your other individuals that are there within the unit coming to you and asking you, how would you handle this because of your experience, as well as, let's face it, you've been through a lot of cases.
Yes, and I would say that that's applicable to everybody in my unit. I am very lucky that the people who are with me have many years of experience with me as well too. I have another individual, Colleen Warden, who's been with me in our unit for almost 6 years now. I'm lucky to have 3 people from Wayne County who did this work in Wayne County as well too, and another individual who's been in the unit for almost 3 years. We can't survive without each other.
That's right.
We are constantly bouncing cases off each other, asking each other our opinions. How would you handle this? Would you charge this? What should we do? Because it's so difficult, Pete. The subject matter is so hard, and it's always helpful, I believe, in any case to have an extra set of eyes, but our case is more than anybody else's. Things that we may just not be thinking about, someone else in the unit may point it out, a different avenue to take. Our unit works so well together. I'm so proud of us.
I see you in the conference room as a collaborative effort to make sure that everything is reviewed, because no one wants to be charged as a parent for harming their child. It just doesn't go with the grain. In addition, I also worry about, and I'm being sincere about it, the mental health of the individuals in the unit, including yourself, how you guys can go home at the end of the night knowing what has happened in a family and go to sleep at night. Tell me a little bit about.
It's hard. I think that we all deal with it very well, though. We all understand. We all know that one of us is going to have a moment. And we're all there to let each other have those moments and to let each other vent. And we get through those tough cases and we get through those tough trials, and we're all there. And I think that our office as a whole is very sympathetic to us because they know what we deal with. Somebody's got to do that job.
Somebody's got to do it.
And the 6 of us are doing it, and we're doing it to the best of our ability. And I think that our office gives us a lot of grace. I also want to say that our court system gives us a lot of grace. Our judges are very conscientious of the fact that we are very busy. We are bouncing around to a lot of different courts. I know that I'm always very appreciative that when I come into a court, my cases are handled very quickly. They understand that oftentimes we do have victims and family members there, and they understand the subject matter and the cases that we handle. Want to get them out as fast as possible, knowing that it's very traumatic for them.
I like the way you guys lean on each other and support each other and depend on each other each and every day. One more thing before we leave. Talk about Peanut and how who is Peanut and what does it do for your what does he do for your unit?
So Peanut is our comfort dog who Mark Laws is his handler and his dad. Peanut's been with us, goodness, now I believe it's been almost
Mark's in the unit also?
Mark is in our unit, yes, thank you. He is one of the prosecutors in the unit, and I believe that Peanut has been with us now for about 2 years now, I believe it's been. And Peanut is there to assist our victims in court.
Tell us how.
So before they go into court, just having that dog there, you can just tell, and it doesn't make a difference if it's a child, if it's an adult, if it is the victim, if it's one of their family members. Having that dog there is a sense of comfort for so many people, including us. I feel like it's been a big comfort in the office. I see you interact with Peanut all the time.
He's a part of the team in the prosecutor's office.
He is.
And when I see a child that's on the stand and you're questioning the child as to what occurred, the child leans down and just to touch the dog, to give it a comfort, to bring out the testimony, knowing that it's very difficult for that child.
Yes, and it's important to note that Peanut isn't just utilized in our cases. He's available for the entire office to use. We have Mark, who's a handler. We have some victim advocates that are handlers. We have an office that's kind of bonded together and helped out with this because everyone has seen how important it is to have Peanut, what he does for the victims, for their family members, to have them there. So he's been a very important part of our team as well, too.
I want to thank you for bringing together such a wonderful group of individuals to handle these kind of cases, because they are the ones that are not talked about because how traumatizing these cases are to people. But you guys do it with such professionalism and also finesse. And I appreciate all your hard work as the chief. I want to thank you for all of your sincerity and dedication. And I want the viewers to know it's not easy to get good people like this. So when you see them out and about, tell them thank you for what they do because it's difficult. Thanks again, Stephanie, for being with us. I appreciate you so much, and I just want you to know we're here for you, and you've always been there for the county. So thanks again, Stephanie, for being here.
Thank you, Peter. I appreciate it. Thank you.